We all love the idea of a cruising sailboat. Slow mornings, making coffee, and then a long passage, nowhere to be except just out there. But let's be honest for a second. Most cruising boats are slow, painfully slow, and when your world starts being measured in miles instead of minutes, speed starts to matter a lot. So what if you want to go cruising, but you also want to be moving? What if you don't want a catamaran, but you're done watching the horizon slowly crawl toward you? What's the fastest cruising monohull in the world? And more importantly, what do you have to give up to get there? Because speed usually comes at a cost. Comfort, space, simplicity. But what if it didn't? What if you could have a true cruising layout, 3 cabins, 2 heads, a boat you and your spouse can actually handle, and still push damn near 30 knots? Yeah, that exists, and you're going to want to see this. Personally, I love the idea of speed while I'm out cruising. I don't want to just visit every Caribbean island. I want to do it all at 15 plus knots between the hops. I want to exploit smaller weather windows and rocket from place to place with spray in my hair and wind in my eyes and a smile on my face. I love going fast on a sailboat. I race 2 to 3 nights a week in the summer at 3 different clubs, so maybe I'm just broken. But if you're like me, what this next boat is will be very interesting to you. Though I think it might even be too fast. What do you think? This is the Roma 430, and depending on how you define the word cruising, this might be the fastest cruising monohull on the planet right now. Now, that sounds like marketing fluff. Every builder claims speed, every brochure promises performance. But this boat is different because it wasn't designed to feel fast. It was designed to actually be fast, and that starts with where it comes from. The Roma 430 is built by Roma Yachts, and if you know anything about the European sailing scene, especially in France and Italy, you know they've been quietly pushing the limits of what cruising boats can do for years. This isn't a marina queen. This is a product of offshore racing DNA leaking into our little cruising world. At 43 feet long, it doesn't sound extreme on paper, and it's not. But then you look at the displacement, roughly 6,500 to 7,500 kilos depending on the configuration. That is light, like suspiciously light. And lightness in sailing is speed. The hull shape tells the rest of the story. Wide beam carried aft, flat sections in the stern, twin rudders hanging off the back like a pair of claws ready to dig in. This is not a displacement hull designed to push water out of the way. This is a hull designed to climb up on top of it and go running. That's the key difference. Most cruising boats, they slog 6 knots, maybe 7 on a good day. You're pushing a wall of water, you're burning time, watching your destination creep closer like it's doing you a favor. This thing, it planes. And when a monohull starts planing, everything changes. Upwind, it behaves fairly normally. Fast, 6, 8, maybe even 9 knots. Respectable, but not headline worthy. But the second you crack off onto a reach, this boat wakes up. Suddenly, you're in the mid-teens, 12, 14, 16 knots, and it feels stable doing it. Then you turn downwind, and this is where the Roma 430 stops being a cruising boat and starts being something else entirely. With the right sail up and a bit of breeze behind you, this thing will comfortably sit in the high teens. Push it harder, get it surfing, and you're into the 20s. Not bursts, not just for a second surfing down a wave, 20s in sustained speeds. And yes, under the right conditions, people are seeing numbers that creep up toward 30 knots. This is Hobie Cat territory. This is not normal on a cruising monohull. That's not even normal for most race boats. And the wild part is, you're doing it on a boat that technically has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths. Now, before you start picturing yourself blasting across the ocean with a glass of wine in hand, we need to talk about what it takes to get this performance, because speed in sailing always comes at a cost. And on the Roma 430, that cost shows up in 3 places. First is the sail plan. This is not a set it and forget it cruising rig with furlers everywhere. You've got a square top main, non-overlapping head sails, and a full wardrobe of downwind cloth. code zeros, ASIMs, kites, different jibs in different conditions. If you want the numbers, you have to use the gear, and the gear isn't cheap. A full sail inventory on this boat can easily run you from 50 to 100 grand. That's not optional if you want to unlock what this boat is capable of. Second, the loads. Everything on this boat is under tension. The sheets, the halyards, the rig itself. You're dealing with real forces here. This isn't a Sunday afternoon cruiser where you can casually trim a sail with 2 fingers and a smile. You need to be engaged. And third, the handling. Now, to be fair, this boat is designed to be manageable. Twin rudders gives you control even when you're heeled over and accelerating. The head sails are smaller and easier to handle than old school 155 Jennies. Most of the lines are led back to the cockpit, so yes, a competent couple can sail this boat. And, this is important, it rewards skill and punishes complacency. You can't just check out and let the boat do its thing. You have to stay ahead of this boat, because when a boat like this gets away from you, it doesn't gently remind you, it teaches you a lesson. Now let's talk about the part that makes the whole thing sort of controversial here, the interior. Because technically, this is a cruising boat. There are different floor plans available for this boat, ranging from the full race version with a Spartan interior, a loft version with an open plan and very little privacy, the super cruise layout with 2 beds and 1 head, and then the full version to go cruising on. You've got 3 cabins, 2 heads, there's a galley, there's a saloon. You can absolutely live on this boat at anchor or at a dock. But everything inside is built with one goal in mind, and that is weight savings. So instead of rich wood finishes and plush everything, you're looking at lightweight panels, minimal structure, and a design that feels much closer to a race boat than a floating condo. It's clean, it's functional, it's modern, but it's not luxurious. This is not a boat you buy if your vision of cruising involves air conditioning and wine racks and soft cushions everywhere. This is the boat that you buy if your vision of cruising involves covering 200-mile days and wondering why everyone else is taking so long to get there. And that's really what the Roma 430 represents. It sits in this very strange, very interesting place between full race boat and full cruising boat. It borrows heavily from offshore racing classes like the Class 40 and from performance cruisers like a Pogo 40, but it pushes just a little further toward the edge. Far enough that you start to question whether it still belongs in the cruising category at all. And that's where opinions start to split. People who love this boat will tell you it's one of the most exciting things you can sail without stepping into a full race program, that it transforms passages from endurance tests into something genuinely fun, that it makes the ocean feel smaller. And people who don't like this boat will tell you it's overkill, it's too demanding, too complicated, that if you're not actively chasing performance, you're carrying around a bunch of complexity and cost for no reason. And honestly, both sides are kinda right, because the Roma 40 isn't trying to be the perfect cruising boat. It's trying to be the fastest one. And when you chase that goal, you have to give things up. Comfort gets trimmed around the edges a bit, simplicity gets taken away, forgiveness gets lost entirely. But what you get in return is speed. Real, tangible, smile on your face inducing speed. The kind of speed where weather windows get bigger, passages get shorter, and suddenly that too far destination doesn't feel so far anymore. So the real question isn't whether this is the fastest cruising monohull in the world. The question is this still a cruising boat at all? Or is this something else entirely? And more importantly, if you had the option, how much comfort would you give up to go this fast? It honestly might be too fast for me. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments, because I know some of you crazy speed freaks would love to go cruising on this thing. Now let's get back into a slower reality for a second. Did you see this article on the Practical Sailor site called "Do Hybrid Propulsion Systems Make Sense on Small Boats?" This is right up our alley. Hybrid diesel-electric propulsion offers advantages, obviously, in efficiency and redundancy and silent running, but high upfront costs and added complexity keep it out of reach of most small boat repowers. This is a great read if you have a few minutes. I'll leave a link in the description for you. If you like sailboat videos, don't forget to hit that thumbs up for me. It really helps us out, but also it lets YouTube know that you're into sailing videos, so it'll show you more of them. How cool is that? and hit subscribe so I can see you again next time.